good, right?
I don't know, it depends on the range you want it. Brother,
Thank you,
welcome,
thank you,
welcome,
thank you.
welcome.
That sounds looking nice. The business is looking nice.
Was kind of hesitant because a few years before that, there was a guy that I know in LA. He
Like-
wrote the book. It was supposed to be about my life. It wasn't nothing special. So when Suleiman brought it up, kind of was like, nah. He was like, just give me a chance. I'm going to write a few pages. And I read it. I was like, damn.
I mean, from the first page, and it's about your life too.
Imagine you feeling this way. I was shocked because I couldn't have put it in better words myself.
اسألك ايش رايك في المطعم؟ إيش رأيك
مطعم
في الأكل؟
جميل جدا وحنا يعني نعتاد على هذا المطعم
You're from New Jersey, right?
Yes,
Irvington.
born and raised. After the death of my mother and father, I was lucky enough to have my grandparents. We had a house where my door was always open. Anybody come in my house, they can eat. To say unless you have enough to feed the whole neighborhood, you're not eating from the people you can't share with. I remember when the crack cocaine epidemic hit in the 80s. Young kids, 17, 18 years old, making $1,000 a day. So imagine you're going from middle class now, you have an opportunity to make $1,000 a day. But then when fast money comes, other people saying, okay, he making fast money. All I got to do is come with my gun and I'm going to take his fast money. And now you're destroying families because they taking the clothes of their children and they selling it for drugs. This is what I started seeing. So no one expected that. No one expected
So
it.
just turn it upside down.
It turned it upside down and nobody had a clue that it was about to be turned upside down. My brother became, that time, one of the biggest drug dealers in my neighborhood, along with my cousins. And I had some family members who got addicted on drugs. So I seen how it did one of my cousins, for example. I seen how he went from this guy that very macho, and then all of a sudden he on drugs and nobody respected him. And I started seeing my friends and cousins, brothers and them going to jail and people getting shot. And it really was like, I don't know how much longer this will last.
ومثل ما قال زميلي انت ما تيجي هنا تاكل تيجي هنا تستمتع.
But I do remember at a young age, first time I realized I can make money from rap is that drug dealers in my neighborhood would come to me and say, man, Moo got talent rap for us. I'd be like, no,
Yeah.
give me 25 cents. And I'd be like, no, give me another quarter. People from my neighborhood be like, man, we got a rapper that would kill. I used to call myself Little Moo. I was a neighborhood star before I became a rap star with Tupac. Gaddafi, Yafeyo was his name. I remember she was a very sweet woman, his mother. We would get to the reason why she probably don't like me now. She hate my guts. Take me from my neighborhood and take me to his neighborhood, Montclair, which was the suburbs. And I remember she would make this banging spaghetti. So years went past and I seen her again. And she said, oh, what are you doing? And I said, I'm rapping now. She said, well, my son Yafeyo's rapping. His brother is Tupac Shakur. At this time, he only had one album out. He would be in New York City on this such and such date. New York City from where I'm from is 30 minutes on the train. I went to the hotel and Yafe, I'm looking at him, he's very tall. Tupac come in the room and he introduced me. This was the first time somebody at that age and that background, when I told him the story of my mother and father, I looked up and he was crying. Why did he act like that? He wasn't really excited to hear any about street life. He wanted to see if I'm an individual that was serious about rap, he would give me a chance. Fast forward now, survived 5 bullets. He got shot. One guy acting like he reading the newspaper. Soon he got in the elevator, he put it down and they came in there and they start shooting him and try to rob him. For him, he felt it was strange because he like, this day, to get shot, I'm watching Biggie and all these New York rappers in the studio. His paranoia, he thinking that these individuals had something to do with it. He like, how come everybody in the studio just waiting the day I get shot? What was they waiting for? Tupac is locked up. Accusation that come to find out wasn't really true, but the judge locked him up for something less. So now he's in prison. Now he becoming angry. I'm watching him. When I come home from jail, I'm going against the whole East Coast. All the rappers going to be my enemy. He was like, I'm going to put a rap group together and we're going to make this rap group Tyrants. We became the Outlawz. From the time he was in prison to the time he came home, it was war. You're going to be Napoleon because of your height. You're going to be Gaddafi because he's from Libya. Fidel Castro from the Cuban president. You're going to be Saddam Hussein. And he changed his name to Machiavelli. A few months later, he got released from prison. And now he signed a record deal with Suge Knight and Death Row Records, the biggest gangster rap record ever. So it's very dangerous. Assalamu alaikum. Sorry for with that mindset, Tupac coming to this record label, it was almost like adding flame to the fire. Basically, it was Jahiliyyah era. You kill somebody from my side, we got to at least kill one person from your side.
Okay. Everything you could ask for in that specific time period?
I'm 15, 16 years old. The only father figure I have to answer to was Tupac. He was going to movie sets with Pac. He was doing movies, going to restaurants, dinner. It was just living a beautiful California lifestyle. He was a mature person. Even for us as youngsters, we have to sneak out of the house. We'd wait till you go to sleep and we would leave. We was kids and he's like, man, LA's not, you might see the palm trees and you might see this because he knew how dangerous it was. It was very violent in the studio. We was beating people up, guns every day. We were around killers, no doubt about it. We around killers. Crazy, bro, because in this studio, you got Snoop and all his crew. This studio is Pac and us, and we got visitors from all over. You kind of feel like you're untouchable. How can something happen to us? Artists like Snoop Dogg and Corrupt, they kind of brought a lot of the Crips together. And not only that, he had retired police officers also with guns. So you feel like, how can something happen to us? You get this feeling, a notion of false security.
The East Coast beef was just getting more and more heated.
Yeah, so now at this time, we dissing anybody from the East Coast that come out there and we catch them. People from the East Coast was afraid to come, honestly.
You basically entered the stage in your life where you kind of couldn't leave.
Bro, believe it or not, 9 months from the time Pac went from prison till he was murdered. 9 months. Work, it was business, it was dissing the East Coast, saying we're gonna do that, boom.
While Bruno falls to 40-5.
Now Tupac go to Vegas when Mike Tyson fight. He see a guy who happened to snatch a chain. He was a Crip dude from Compton, snatch a chain from one of Suge homies, Trey, who was a blood Paru from Compton. These individuals also doing security for Puffy and Biggie and them. And it happened that fast, Snatch a chain, Pac overheard him saying that's the guy. Pac took it on himself, fought the guy. Then as you can see from the video, they jumped the guy.
Tupac and others attack an LA gang member in a hotel lobby after a Mike Tyson.
A couple hours later, the guy came back from revenge.
How do you think Pac felt about that night, knowing the person he was?
One, knowing him, he felt like he had to do that. So when he felt like he's going to attack an individual, he's attacking him out of loyalty. But I don't think he expected retaliation that soon. I don't think him or Suge expected that. He knew West Coast politics. So when people come and say, well, he didn't understand the West Coast, that's not true. He knew. I just think he didn't expect it was going to happen that soon. Because like I said, when you was in death row presence, you have a false notion of security because of all the weapons and security that's around you. It was a wake-up call to let you know that when it's your time to go, no matter what happened, when God wants you to go, nothing is going to stop that.
Did the Outlawz manage after that? In a way, you were soldiers and he was the leader. It just was impossible to operate the same way.
It took us all by surprise, that we would lose basically our leader at that particular time. So, and not only that, not too long after that, Suge Knight got arrested. Then we started going through a lawsuit with Death Row, music-wise. There was a lot that we had to figure out, we had to learn. I would say we did a good job because, I stayed in LA up until I moved to Saudi Arabia. I didn't leave California. But it was difficult because now you without the person that we all leaned on. We leaned on them because we 17 years old, no older than 18 years old. And we leaned so much on them and didn't expect. We had to grow up. We had to grow up, yes. So Pac died in 1996. I probably stopped rapping in 2005. Yes.
Oh, so it was like 9 years of
about 9 years I continued. So yes, we continued. Yeah, so even after Pac died, we went, we put one album out, we went platinum, we sold over 1 million records. Started doing a lot of albums and we released independent without major backing and stuff like that. And and after that, things just went downhill. We continued to be independent and I continued to, move separate from music until I became Muslim actually. Myself and the Outlawz happened to be in a recording studio in LA. We wanted to do a song with this artist named Seal. He's a very famous artist from the UK, had these cuts on his face, did a song, and I asked Macau, can he get on a song with us? He let, Seal get on a song, and what happened is, usually when you do a song with an artist, your record company gotta pay them. They was like, you don't have to pay. What Macau done, he said, instead of paying me, what I want you to give me by paying me back is visit the mosque. The people that killed my parents were affiliated with the Nation of Islam. They say that Elijah Muhammad came the prophet, a lot of stuff has nothing to do with Islam. But me growing up, my ignorance, I didn't know the difference. So I used to say, I would never be a Muslim. I want nothing to do with Muslims. But now I'm in a hard spot. You know what? After calling me, I said, I'm going to take his invitation. I got a gun, brought about 30 of my friends, went to the mosque. So to walk into a mosque and see black people, white people, Arabs, Africans, Asian, it was surprising. It took me off guard. Then I said, what is this? And he started telling me more about Islam. He gave me literature and I took it home and I started reading it. I realized, wait a minute. I might be onto something. It's going to be one of my best interviews.
Inshallah, inshallah.